Recording.
Oh, hi, Jeff McKinney.
Hey, Jeff McKinney. I gotta tell you, like, the weirdest thing ever being a 40-year-old at a skate park is when like 7-year-olds are ripping it on razor scooters next to you, and they're just doing insane shit. And they see you on a skateboard doing things, and they're like, "That's the most amazing thing ever." And I'm like, "No, I suck. Shut up." And they're like, "No, you're really good." Like, if I didn't know that they didn't know, I'd think that they were talking shit. But like, it was insane. They're like, "You were ollieing so high." I'm like, "Shut up, kid. Leave me alone."
That's my only move.
I wonder what airport Dimitri's stuck in today.
All right. All right. Alan, any questions before we fire this thing up?
Let's wait around for your cue, right? That's just kind of hanging out.
Just don't wait for anything. If you feel like talking, go for it. All right. We're gonna get started then. Let's launch this thing.
Oh, promo.
Okay. Hey, Alan.
Yeah.
Would you mind doing a little promo for us that we can use before shows?
Sure. Like what?
Like, so generally, people will just do their name and who they're with. So it'd be, hey, this is Alan Viader with Viader Vineyards. What is it? Viader Vineyards and Winery.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're listening to the We Like Drinking podcast, where you never drink alone. Something along those lines.
Got it.
All right. Anytime you're ready.
Okay. Hello, this is Alan Viader with Viader Vineyards and Winery, and you're the We Like Drinking and We Never Drink Alone. Screw that one out, or I get that.
Nope, that was perfect. All right.
One shot, one kill. Right.
That's right. Yeah. Straight for the heart. All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Rudolph coming to you with crowler in hand. So grab that fresh crowler, wherever you scored it from, crack it open, join us, because we like drinking, and this is where you'll never drink alone.
At the sound of the tone, the official We Like Drinking Time.
Yeah. Shh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right, here we go.
This week's episode of the We Like Drinking podcast is brought to you by Wines Till Sold Out. Find out more about their massive selection of fine wines at WTSO.com/WLD. Now, on to the show.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Rudolph coming to you with crowler in hand. So grab that fresh crowler, wherever you scored it from, crack it open, join us, because we like drinking, and this is where you'll never drink alone.
At the sound of the tone, the official We Like Drinking Time will be 5 o'clock. Commence consumption.
This week on episode 224 of the We Like Drinking podcast, we'll be discussing Discount Corner, developing film with beer, and we're getting into some Napa Valley red wines with Alan Viader from Viader Vineyards and Winery. So crack open your beers, uncork that wine, and let's get drinking. All right, everybody. I think we're all about a half a bottle in. So we're raring to go. We're ready to kick this podcast off and say cheers, my podcast drinking friends, and welcome to Happy Hour 224 of the only two-time award-winning topical beer and wine education podcast focusing on drinking and the funsies. Oh, John Ruyak in Prue podcast form is throwing up his gang F for fun. so everybody listening can see it. So if by now you're already realized that you're listening to Podcast Gold here, people. So be sure to get yourself subscribed to the show so you never miss an episode. Visit welikedrinking.com/subscribe to take your first step down the WLD path of awesome sauce. So let's get into this. Let's find out who we're drinking with tonight. We've got a wonderful lineup tonight. We've got our usual cast members. We've got our wine blogger, Jeff Solomon.
Hey, that's me sometimes.
We've got our beer brewer, John Ruyak.
I did that today.
And I am your host, Jeff Eccles. And our guest this week has spent the better part of his life in vineyards, literally in vineyards. From his childhood growing up in the Howell Mountain to taking part in harvests all over the world, our guest has seen it all. By bringing an outside-the-box mentality to their vineyards, they have revolutionized what it means to be a Napa Valley winemaker. Please help us welcome from Viader Vineyards and Winery, Alan Viader. How you doing, Alan?
Doing great. How are you guys?
I am happy. I am doing well. I am glad you're on the show. Just for our listeners, like this is how cool our guest is tonight. He's on his porch right now. He's podcasting from his porch, which really is how we should all be doing it. I mean, it's porch podcasting, right?
What was the weather? What was the weather like up on Howell Mountain today?
It actually got into the 90s today. It was nice and warm.
Ooh.
So, but it's good. It's better than 6 inches of rain a day that we've been having. So we're soaking it up.
You guys, Howell Mountain is on the west side, so you just get all the liquid, right?
We're west facing. We're on the east side, so we get all that. Yeah, we get all that heat, and then we get all the rain too.
Ooh.
Beauty.
That doesn't sound humid at all.
not humid, not at the same time.
So you can find Viader Vineyards on Instagram and Twitter at Viader VIADER_Napa, and on Facebook at Viader.Napa, or check out their website at Viader.com. Hopefully I got all that right. All right, we're gonna get to the interview section in a little bit, but first. It's always John's turn. It's John's turn this week, so I'm excited about this. It's time for. Oh, what am I doing? It's not time for that yet. I forgot.
Darn it!
I forgot we're
You made me break out my pen and everything. I gotta unclick it and put it down.
I'm just looking to wear you out. That's my goal, to win wine, beer, or pop culture. I'm just looking to tire you out. So let's start with John. No, let's not start with John. Let's start with Jeff Solomon.
Well, it is the end of April, which is the time where you can hunt around to many a liquor store. Definitely in California, but throughout the United States, you should be able to find this. This is the Lagunitas 2019 One Hitter Series. It is their Waldo's Special Ale. This is a triple IPA coming in at 11.7%, and it is I love it. It's so good. It's so good. It's just sticky sweet and hop forward and just fresh to death. I love the Waldo's Special. It's awesome.
Nice. Alan, what's in your glass tonight?
I'm drinking a bottle of red. Drinking a glass of red here. Napa Cab. Had some friends over last night. We got some leftovers. Doesn't usually happen, but it was a really big bottle of wine. So
awesome.
It's never too hot to drink red wine. I'm loving it.
This is true. I've gone the opposite route. I went with a white tonight. I've got the Barville Chateauneuf de Pape. So I've got a little white. This thanks to our sponsor, Wines Till Sold Out.
What do you think of that?
It's nice. It's, I was thinking about it when I opened it up. This is like my first white wine in like 8 months, I think. It's been a cold, crappy winter in Colorado. So this is, I think, my first one of the season. So it's nice.
I'm trying to remember. Did you get some notes of pear in that?
You know what? I don't want to go into tasting notes.
You know what? Okay.
I'm not.
But But I guess it's my turn. But I did want to say that I was a little stuck about what to drink tonight, and I was really going for a session wine. So I was thinking maybe I found something in my cellar. I went down to the cellar, or in my case in Albuquerque, we call it a garage. And I pulled out this Trader Joe's Meritage red wine from 2014. And then I turned it around and said, oh, wait a minute. That's the Session Sangiovese that came disguised as an olive oil bottle. But I noticed that since it was stored in my garage, that this was probably aged in a garage. Since this is the most prominent part of the label is the garage.
Oh my God.
At Chateau Courier. And I'm pretty sure this was aged on glass carboy. So
for folks that don't know, this is some Sangiovese that my friend hauled back from Tahoe National Forest in a plastic bucket, and I did ferment it not in my garage, but in my pantry, like a normal person.
But I will say, so I was looking up Sangiovese, and there's only 2,000 acres planted in California, so he really had to smuggle that in from Lake Tahoe, huh? Anyway, I had it with dinner. I made up. Sharon was swimming, so I made a pork chop with smoked paprika on it and some garlic. And the Sangiovese beat back the garlic with a stick, which was really nice. But is really Jeff. I mean, it has some nice strawberry kicks out, just like Sangiovese should. Some dark cherries. I think that the tannins are still a little bit high in this one. I would have been nice if I had kept it for another 2 or 3 years, but I'm kind of digging it. Nice job.
That's awesome that my garage wine is age worthy. That's what happens when you can't mechanically pick and you press it through a colander.
I thought you press it with your feet because I was getting a little bit of whiff of onychomycosis.
That fermented on my toe jam, that's for sure.
I think my takeaway from all of that is, like, seriously, John, you live in Albuquerque, you're still storing alcohol.
I'm just kidding. It's in the dining room with all my other ones at a reasonable temperature of about 68 degrees.
Well, I hope you're enjoying it. That's awesome.
I had it with dinner, and Sharon had a glass and the bottle is empty. So there you go.
Yeah.
And no one's surprised. Okay. Now let's get back to
wine, beer, or pop culture reference. So you guys, you know it. I'm going to give these guys a term, and they're going to try to guess whether it's got something to do with wine, something to do with beer, or something to do with a pop culture reference. And yes, somebody's going to ask me to spell it. So this week's term is Tardif de Bourgogne. Tardif de Bourgogne. So who's going to go first this week? I think it should be Eccles.
You think so, huh?
I think so.
You know, it's unfortunate that you should go with me on this one, because we've used this one before.
We have? No.
Well, way back when we had us, it was called Grape, Hop, or Pop Culture Reference. There was one week where I pulled this one out to try to fool everybody, and it worked, I think, on half the panel. But this is a beer hop. I believe it is from France.
All right. Solomon, what do you think? Well, you should unmute yourself again, Solomon.
Listen. I didn't remember that episode. I don't remember most of our episodes. I'm going to say that Tardif de Bourgogne is it's essentially like beef de bourgogne, but you don't cook it.
like tartare. Tartare de Bourgogne.
Yeah. Tartare de Bourgogne. That's what it is. So I'm going to say pop culture reference because everybody loves that dish.
All right, Alan, what do you think? Tardif de Bourgogne.
I'm going with the tartare reference. I like that. Tartif.
Well, Eccles, you win. It's a hop from Eastern France. And the reason why I picked this is because we're having a problem at the brewery where one of our signature hops is getting tough to source. And I was looking up a replacement, and Tardif de Bourgogne is a grandparent to the Laurel hops, which has some of the similar characteristics of the one that we're having a tough time sourcing.
Oh,
so that's why I chose this one.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
All right, nice job,
And,
John.
And so ends another episode of Wine, Beer, or Pop Culture Reference.
See, I think a lot of folks are like Tardif de Bourgogne. That's a weird sounding hop. I think it's weird that there's a hop named after a makeup company. L'Oreal?
Loral, L-O-R-A-L, Loral.
That seems like a perfect.
It's worth it. It's worth it when you find it.
That seems like a perfect.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Sorry.
And that seems like a perfect time to segue into a word from our sponsor. You've heard us tell you all about the one wine at a time till sold out business model of wines till sold out for a while now, because it's fun to catch those lightnings and bottles deal when they strike. But did you know that Wines Till Sold Out also has wines available for sale all the time? With wines generally ranging from the $10 to $30 price point, this is a great wine to snag big savings when you're not on the clock. There are no pushover wines either. This week, I found a Premier Cru Chablis and Alsatian Grand Cru Riesling, a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, and Sonoma County Petit Syrah, all available to buy for 50% off or more from the regular prices. You can usually find about 15 wines available in the more wine section of the store. So visit WTSO.com/WLD to get signed up and start exploring today. Don't forget to use our promo code WLD2019 for additional $5 off your order of $4 or more. Now, back to the show. All right, great job, Jeff. That was that was some fine advertising dollars spent right there.
Wait, did you just compliment yourself?
I did. Did you like that?
Oh.
All right. So as usual, our guest is falling asleep, waiting to get spoken to on our podcast. But Alan,
No.
thank you so much for joining us out there. Are you in Howell Mountain right now? This is where you live. This is where you work. This is where you play.
I grew up there, but no, I don't live there. Thank God. I do get away and go home every once in a while.
Excellent. Okay, so Viader Vineyards and Winery. You guys have been around since 1986, correct? It was founded by your mother, I believe.
Yes, it was by Delia. Yeah, 1986. So she, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So she came from her travels in from Europe, and actually originally from Argentina, but France. She found herself in California, and did to give up all that schooling to go back to school again. Fourth time to go learn to be a winemaker, learn to be a farmer again. Going back to the basics, fermentation science at UC Davis. Found this amazing property. With the help of my grandfather, purchased almost 100 acres up on the hill on essentially like this 35% grade cliff side full of rocks and rattlesnakes and you name it. It was every farmer's nightmare to put this vineyard in, but she defied all odds, put it in a pretty special fashion. She actually went up and down the hillside. You see it very common practice in Europe and Portugal and some areas of France and even Germany and Austria. You see these kind of really steep vineyards where they're, using ropes to kind of go up and down. But in the States, they tend to focus more on the flatter areas or maybe just the lower foothills. And she picked this little perchy spot on the cliff to put her vineyard site. So it's pretty amazing. I grew up working in the vineyard, so I have a whole different perspective, like literally like from the rocks up perspective. It is so challenging. I would love for some flat clay soil. And everything that we have to do has to be done with jackhammers. It's
Oh
just
my God.
every step of the way is extremely challenging. But you get these grapes that are, extremely powerful and concentrated and really, stressed every single day of their lives. It's like little marathon runners working throughout the season. So we get these really wonderful qualities. So as a winemaker, the dream come true, right? But as a farmer, you got to work. You got to work for a living.
Yeah, no kidding. And so what is the benefit of doing the vertical vineyard, the planting as opposed to the horizontal? Is there a benefit from the grape perspective, or is it purely for your access to it?
No, I mean, for an access,
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite challenging. We have to use a crawler, and most of the time it feels like you're going to flip either backwards if you're going up or flip down, over end if you're going down the hill. But for grape quality, it's great because it goes with the sun. So she planted the rows east, west, straight down the hill. So we're just a due west facing property, about 270, 280 degree exposure. So we have this excellent afternoon sun. Great ripening on the colder years. We can really manage the canopy on the cooler years. I mean, I have my foot on the accelerator and brake pedal anytime I want with the setup. So I don't have to worry about afternoon versus morning. One side shriveling, the other side is green. They're perfectly ripe and protected under that canopy all day long. So it's a really nice setup.
That's amazing. Have you found a lot of people copying that, or are you kind of just the only ones that do it?
Well, there's a lot more people now coming up for rotation. That 30-year cycle, people are starting to replant, and there's a lot that are going from north-south back to a variant of east-west. Not exactly the way that I'm, maybe a few degrees off, but it's definitely a trend now to kind of go with the sun and have less of that morning afternoon of.
Awesome. John, I know you had a lot of questions, and you heard your trigger word, rattlesnake. So I'm sure you've got some.
Yeah, I'm a snake buff. So, and I did find a new rattlesnake den this past weekend, which was pretty cool. That's on my hat. Anyway,
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, you've grown up on the vineyard. Is it, and you've done some harvests throughout the world and things like that. But growing up in your blood, what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks to that? I mean, are there any drawbacks to seeing just kind of a singular way of doing things?
No, I'm always trying to do something new. I mean, the beauty of being on one estate for so long is that you get to try different things all the time, and you get to see the long-term, benefits, whether you're making a difference in the soil. I mean, I've been working lately on developing better soil, compost teas, doubling down on all my nutrients and everything to really get that soil profile rich and alive to help feed the roots. And that's not something that's going to happen in maybe even my lifetime, but I'm trying to, for the past 20 years, I've been dealing with it, and I've been seeing the benefits slowly. And I've seen what, failures, if I've, done experiments, I've seen what doesn't work. I've been able to see that long term, and you get, you saw that, you constantly try new things on the same blocks, and then when you hit it, you've hit it because you see reactions, you see the change in the canopy, the color, and to complete the cycle as a winemaker, also as vineyard, not only vineyard manager, but I get to see the long-term benefits in the wine itself. I get to see the wines age 10, 15 years down, and I remember, oh, this is the first year that I actually started I changed the canopy that year, and I started exposing the grapes a little earlier in the season, and doing different things like that. So I think that's the beauty of being on one spot for that long.
So I have a follow-up question to that, because you say you're managing your soils a lot. Now I was reading some, was it the Petit Verdot vineyard that's very volcanic? Was that the one that I was reading?
It's on a spot in front of the house that is more of a northwest exposure, and it definitely has more rock. That's kind of the transition between two soil types. And I mean, they're both extremely volcanic and rocky, but this area goes where the Cab and the Cab Franc are in a little bit deeper soil, maybe 30-inch deep with 40% rock. It transitions right at that Petit Verdot block into a kid complex soil that maybe has 18 inches of soil and 40% rock. So it's extremely challenging to farm that little spot. Very difficult. And Petit Verdot tends to have a much more vigorous, bigger leaves, bigger clusters, bigger berries. It wants to produce a lot more fruit. It's the only one that will produce 3 clusters per shoot. On this property, I'm lucky if I can get 2. I cut it back maybe to 1 cluster per shoot, and I get this really good quality. But it's stressed so much that it doesn't produce this kind of overly vigorous overproduction kind of quality that it usually does in deeper soils.
But so I was trying to lead down where volcanic soils tend to drain fairly quickly. Isn't that true?
Yep.
But and yet I was reading that you've reduced your water usage by 50% in soils that drain fairly quickly. That's pretty interesting. Could you tell us a little bit? Because
so you can
I'm
look
interested
at
in sustainability. I'm in brewing, particularly in New Mexico, where there's not a lot of water, so sustainability is a big deal.
Well, you can look at it a few ways. One way, maybe you could say that I was wasting water earlier, and I was just throwing extra water down the drain. But that's what a lot of vineyards are doing these days. It's just, hey, every week I give it gallons. That's because I've always. And then you look down at these, and you get these sensors to see soil moisture down to a certain level, and the roots aren't going down more than 3 feet. I know my soil is limited at about 3 feet, so why would I give it enough water to go down 5 feet? What's the point? I'm using just enough water. I'm seeing the vine respond, rebound from that heat spike or that stress event, and I'm seeing it rebound. And I know that's okay. It rebounded. I know that it's now fine. It's back to where it needs to be, and I keep it at a certain stress level. I don't want it to ever go above this certain level, so I'm giving it water just the amount that it needs at the exact timing that it needs it for my quality target points, and I don't give it over watering for no reason, because I know my soils are limited, my roots. We dig these roots. We see them down maybe 2 feet, 3 feet in some deeper areas, but very shallow. So there's no point to give them extra. So I've been really focusing on I have a few different types of sensors and technologies out on the vineyard that give me a lot of information, and from that information it tells me, okay, this is the amount of water, this is how much they need, this is how much they're probably going to use because of the 100-degree weather that's coming 2 days from now. And then I make an essentially just an educated guess how much water I should put down. So yeah, it's really helped me, especially up in Howell Mountain. There's a lot of rock, very good drainage. Water does flow right through those rocks, so it's easy to overdo it. Especially so right now everybody's looking at water. It's liquid gold. And I think more people should be doing these types of sustainable practices to help kind of, keep that resource for more useful things. So
I have one final question for me. Do you still see the occasional rattlesnake up on the vineyard?
We just saw one yesterday. Yeah, they're out. They're everywhere.
Rodent control.
Actually.
Rodent control.
Yeah, we have a lot of dogs, and I need to take my. I just heard of a rattlesnake training class that I'm gonna probably take my dog to, where they give them live rattlesnakes, obviously mouths kind of sealed shut, but they're alive, and they introduce it to the dog, and the second the dog sees it or smells it, they get a correction, kind of a little zap, and they associate rattlesnakes, the sound and the smell, to. And so the next time they see it, they'll run. It's better than $1,000 vet bill.
Very much better than.
Wow.
All right, Jeff Solomon.
Yeah, I was, John kind of started leading down this path, and I thought it was really neat. Reading up on Viader.com about your story and your mother's story, and quite a bit was mentioned about experimenting with different techniques in the vineyard, and we've mentioned a little bit or alluded a little bit to organic and biodynamic and sustainable techniques. Is the vineyard certified biodynamic or organic, or is that something that we're working towards currently?
It's something I'm working towards. I was biodynamic for many years, and we were certified organic for a little while as well when we started, but we went away from it for a few different reasons. A lot of things actually were beyond our control. We had some invasive pests that kind of hit Napa, and kind of together as a group, we all kind of, tackled them. And the most effective way was, using some conventional chemicals, which, it wasn't, our call, but, we're working our way towards organics right now. I'm doing everything I can for increasing my biodiversity, beneficial insects when I can, using compost, organic fertilizers, organic, pesticides. I don't use herbicides. So I'm on my way, but no, not certified.
And really, that's I mean, and we've talked about this a number of
Today.
times with different people, but
But it
that's
will
the
be.
most important piece, right?
It's the only way to go.
Yeah, that you're working, that you're living, you're being sustainable. I don't know how important that stamp is for the organics. I mean, I'm sure it's important from a financial perspective for sales, but really it's more important that you're doing what you need to be doing to be sustainable. But at the same time, like you said, I mean, things happen, shit happens in this world. And there's times where you're like, you know what? We've got to save our vineyards and use this product to do it. And that's what you should do. But we're always with a mind towards sustainability. So that's awesome that you're doing that. And I think I saw something, you fly some kites.
Yeah. So we've had some bird problems in the past, and I can't chase them around with a shotgun anymore. So and everybody kind of complains about bird cannons, and I agree, they're annoying. And we've tried the flashy reflective tape, and none of it works. The birds, within 2 days or 3 days, they catch on. But I found this really cool falcon kite that looks absolutely amazing. It's so lifelike, and it hovers and it floats, surfs just like a regular falcon, and then it'll dive, it'll spin around. And I've seen our resident, we have a lot of falcons in the area anyway, but I've seen our resident falcons kind of fly around, checking it out, kind of giving it the, this is my turf. But the falcon kite is like, it gives it like the death stare. It doesn't move, and it intimidated these falcons. But you can actually see these flocks of birds completely eliminate. They fly away the second, and it's like 45 feet in the air above the vineyard, and it'll scare away a 10-acre vineyard worth of birds. So
Wow.
I'm gonna get another one this year. Plus, people
so,
like to see it. And they take pictures next to it too, which is kind of funny.
That's so awesome. So I mean, it's more of that just experimental techniques like out in the vineyard. I was wondering, do you find yourself experimenting with things like during the fermentation process? Do you find yourself experimenting with different things like with bottling? I was wondering, I find myself getting in these conversations with winemakers like, have you done experiments with cans or screw tops or anything?
No, nothing for the bottling. We're very traditional in that sense, but fermentation, yeah, to play around with different. We 15 years ago, my mom brought in some concrete tanks, and we only had of them to start, and over the years, I've been really kind of falling in love more and more with the quality of the wines. So about 2 years ago, I brought in an extra 4 concrete tanks. I brought in these wooden, these large 500-liter barrel fermenters that I've been doing. I've been doing barrel fermentations the hard way, taking the heads off and filling them up with grapes, and then doing it all by hand. That it's just such a pain to get 30 gallons of wine. You have so much work to do. And these 500-liter barrels have a little door, they have a little valve, they're on rollers. They make it so easy, and it looks cool too. So that's always a plus. But so easy, and I can do a half a ton of grapes in this winter. And at the end, I have an actual substantial amount of wine to play with. And I'm increasing that. I've got 3 now. I'm gonna maybe double or triple my order for the coming years. I mean, I like the quality of the wine. The fermentations are warmer because it is a half a ton of grapes, so it has enough mass to build up a significant amount of heat, and you get these really good qualities. They're not overly extracted. They're just really nice, rounded, well integrated flavors, and beautiful wines. So it works great with our cabs. I'm going to try with a few other varietals this year. So always trying something new yeast, new temperature protocols, punch downs versus pump overs, and all the toys we have at our disposal.
That's awesome. I love that you're such a tinkerer, experimenter. Sorry, I didn't.
That's okay. When it comes to experiments, I think the thing that a lot of people shy away from is talking about like what was the one like hypothesis that you had that you were just way off. You were like, I'm gonna do this one thing, it's gonna be amazing, and it was just the worst decision ever. What was it?
So one year I do Syrah that's one component of a wine that I make called the Black Label, and it's Syrah from the estate, beautiful Syrah, lots of flavor, very kind of northern Rhone type qualities, but I always wanted to get a little bit more tannin out. I thought, hey, we've tried whole cluster, didn't get what I wanted. I've tried, just stem inclusion. I've tried whole berry. I've tried carbonic. I've tried all sorts of things. I've tried fermenting and only puncheons. The one year I thought it would be a cool idea to do it in the concrete, drain it all out like a rack and return. But before I returned it, I put this metal cage on top of the cap, put 2x4s on top of that metal cage to brace it against the top of the tank, and then fill it up so that it kept like this cap submerged down to the bottom of the tank. So as I was filling it up, the boards cracked and were breaking. The top of the concrete tank started cracking.
Oh,
it's like, oh no. So I stopped the pump, was able to get it out and take all that stuff. I had to drain it again, get all the boards out, but I thought the idea, but it was a lot more force than I anticipated. So back to the drawing board, but yeah, I tried and it didn't really work. I almost broke a very large, expensive tank.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And again, our Herculean winemaker here is Alan Viader with Viader Vineyards and Winery. And so one thing we didn't touch on, so you've mentioned that you have a Syrah. You've mentioned Petit Verdot and a couple cabs. What are the grapes that you're growing, and what are kind of your signature wines?
Our top tier, our signature wine, the one that my mom started back in her first release was 1989, is made of Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc. I mean, we simply just call it the Viader because it's the first, it's the kind of the top of the top that we make. And it's always 30-40% Cabernet Franc, and that's really what put her on the map.
Oh, wow.
was this wine that was so unique and so special, more refined, kind of tannin structure. It's very silky and soft, not your kind of over the head powerful mountain cab. It's a very elegant wine. Then I have that Petit Verdot that John was talking about. I make a wine called the V, and that was something my mom started back in '98. Tiny production. We do anywhere from 150 to 350 cases. Depends on the vintage. So I only make what I grow, and it's a Cabernet. There's a Cabernet blend in there. It's anywhere from 40% Cabernet to maybe 50% Cabernet. Some years it's actually like I remember back in 2007, I did a 92% Petit Verdot under the V. So it can be whatever tastes the best that year.
Okay.
And 2018 is going to be an incredible Petit Verdot year, so I might do a little bit more this year. And then I have the Black Label, which is a Cabernet, maybe 50-60% Cab with 30% Syrah, and the rest there's a little bit of Malbec in there. Cabernet Franc. I call it the black because the inkiness of the Syrah and the Malbec, it really changes the whole profile, the whole dynamic of the wine. Rounder, not so much kind of big, Cabernet tannin, but more round, kind of mouth filling, watering, kind of that Syrah quality to it. Really fresh and vibrant, really nice aromatics, great fruit expression. It's a fun wine to drink now, have with some southern barbecue or something, just something like that can really stand up to those spicy characters from the Syrah.
Oh man!
And then we make a new wine called the Homenaje, and in Spanish, Homenaje is it means tribute, and that is a tribute to my grandfather who helped my mom start the company. To my mom for everything that she's done, her whole vision. I mean, to turn this pile of rocks on the side of a cliff into what it is today is pretty amazing. So I wanted for the 30th anniversary of the 2016 vintage, I wanted to do something special, tie back to Argentina, to where we're from, and I did a Malbec Cabernet blend, 50-50 split. So I kind of grew up always half and half, 1 foot in Argentina, 1 foot in so I figured it'd be perfect as that blend. And I wanted to make something amazing. Cabernet is king here in California. People don't really look at Malbec as king, or as in that same spotlight. So I wanted to do something special. Pulled out off and made a pretty amazing Malbec. People are loving it. People are happy with it.
That's awesome.
And that's our lineup. We do 100% Cabernet Franc as well under a label. Yeah.
Under which label?
What were you saying?
Which
Under
label is it?
the Dare. It's called Dare, part of Viader. And we've done Tempranillo, we've done Malbec, Syrah, Merlot. We've done Cabernet Franc many times.
Awesome.
That's kind of what people were
awesome.
known for.
And so if people are looking to pick up some Viader, can they purchase it from your website at viader.com?
Don't have anything on the website.
Okay.
We have our information. We have my email is alan@viader, ALAN @viader.com. I'm happy to help you out. And our phone number is 707-963-3816. And somebody with a smile on their face is going to answer the phone. We still answer the phone. So
awesome.
That is
email
so rad.
For me.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've ever had a guest just be like, here's our phone number. Call us. And that's killer. I was seeing on your website that there was like somebody could get on your allocation list, like they could plug their email in there.
Yeah, most people do that because we do such a variety of wines, and there's a small supply. We sell everything direct from the winery, so you're not going to find it in a retail shop. You're not going to find it anywhere. Maybe at like some of the top restaurants.
That's
Napa,
great.
That's where we personally go eat, and we want to see our wine there, so we drop it off ourselves and we make the sales ourselves. You should see my mom at the restaurant. She's like, "Why don't you have my wine on the list?" You should. Like, okay.
She just pulls it out of her purse. Here you go.
Yeah, here you go. The allocation, you get kind of a mixed. You get a 6-pack in the spring and a 6-pack in the fall, and you have a good variety of what we make. You get 1 or 2 bottles of each wine, and sometimes we'll throw in an older library wine like a 2008 or 2009, something that's tasting really good. But yeah, it's pretty much the only way to get the wine.
And they can check that out at viader.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'll give you
cool pictures.
I'll give you one last question before we move on. John.
No,
You're
I
good.
Really no, I'm good.
All right, Jeff.
What the sap? You talked about water. What are sap flow sensors?
So I look at it kind of like a blood pressure monitor for the vines. It really shows me how efficiently they're using the water or the sap. The more water they have, the more sap flow, which means the less stress they're under. Because as vines go into stress, they start to shut down their stomata. They start to really use less and less and less water. Well, except for Syrah. Syrah has no idea. Syrah thinks that money is just going to keep coming out of the ATM nonstop. But Cabernet, the smart varietals, they know how to conserve their water. Once they start to get stressed, they start to use less water, and that sap flow, you'll see the chart just drop. And I know I have a certain kind of level where I want it to be, and it's a constant game. It's like a video game. I'm out there walking the vines. I have sensors that tell me the vine temperature, but I actually still put my hand on the canopy, on the leaves, to feel if they're cold or not. And that's the graph and all that data is going to emphasize what I see in the vineyard. But still fun to have all that technology at my disposal. So
heck yeah,
I love that stuff.
Jeff,
and if it makes me a better farmer, why not?
Yeah, why not, Jeff?
Yeah, I just wanted to also give you props for being a volunteer member of the Napa Search and Rescue Team.
Thank you.
Did you get lost in Napa, Solomon?
I mean, I was going to say, I'm sure it's a lot of 50-year-old white ladies like, I'm on this train. I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, we the local cops handle that, but we get all sorts of stuff, and we've unfortunately lately it feels like we've been going to one fire after another. We've been doing fire evacuations. We've been helping kind of the recovery process after. I mean, it's been nonstop with that, and there's been kind of mutual aid stuff. We go up to as far as Humboldt to help with missing people. We go all over the state, helping out wherever people need help. So it's good. And somehow I got suckered into being part of the board of directors, so I must like it.
Oh wow!
Oh god,
that's awesome.
Well, thank you, because that is an important job, and it's pretty nutty out there, and I think everybody's happy that they've got folks like you helping out.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's amazing to see the people's reactions when they get found. It's it's humbling.
I bet.
That's for sure.
I bet. So I'm surprised, Alan, because usually my two panel members are always the ones that are telling people how to run their businesses. and neither one of them did it this week. So I, for the first time, am going to tell you how to run your business better.
Well, he's got an 11% beer that he's drinking, and I don't know how that bottle's empty that John's drinking. So maybe that has something to do. No.
It could be. It could be why they're giggling so much too.
All right, so go ahead. Let me,
I think you need to start a YouTube channel, and it needs to be Friday Falcon Fights with Viader Vineyards. Yeah, and so you get your kite out there, and you get those falcons coming in. You videotape you out there with your string, diving your falcon at these other falcons and birds.
Messing with them. I like it.
Give it a
awesome.
Falcon stare down.
Yeah. All right,
so get some
Alan,
National Geographic videographers. We can do it.
Be careful though, man. Don't those birds will remember you. They'll come back if you mess with them.
Awesome. So, Alan, thank you so much for joining us on the show. That was a lot of fun interviewing you. You're off the hot seat now. You know, because we asked so many hard hitting questions. You're welcome to stick with us through in the show, but you know, it's getting pretty dark on your porch, so I don't know if you need to get going or if you want to stick around with us.
It is, yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good for a while longer.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We've got some, the ticker tape is ticking, so let's get to booze news. We discuss interesting, noteworthy, or 90% of the time some pretty stupid stuff. This week, I talk about your what moments. So Kodak, the camera company,
they still exist.
They do somehow. Is releasing a beer later this month that can be used to develop Super 8 movie film. I mean, I don't even know how much further we need to go with it other than that. But Dogfish Head Craft Brewery in Delaware has created the Super 8 beer. It is a Goza, which we recently talked about on the show. And not only is it delicious and you can drink with it, but if you happen to have some Super 8 film that you need to develop, you can apparently pour some of this beer into a tin and
a tray. It's developed in a tray.
Yeah, and run the film through it, and you'll be able to develop this. So the cool thing about this, though, is that Dogfish founder Sam Galgioni is going to document his summer travels on Super 8 film, and he will develop it with the Super 8 beer and turn it into a short film this fall. The beer is made with pear, mango, berries, kiwi, quinoa, and salt. And you should be able to find it coming up this month. So, yeah, man.
Quinoa?
You lost me at
you buried the lead, man.
That's what I'm known for. So, I mean, I got to go to John first on that. Like, first of all, has anyone on the panel in their life ever had Super 8 film?
I've never had a Super 8 film camera, but I do have a couple of undeveloped rolls of 35 millimeter in the top drawer of my bureau, in my dresser. Maybe I should. I was gonna say that I swallowed a roll of 35 millimeter film and I drank a beer. I could shit out some pictures.
only if you twerk, because you got to shit out a Polaroid picture to be able to get it developed right. So you got to twerk it before it comes out.
If it wasn't in a dark room, it should have been. So, by the way, that was a good joke. I'm good at this. We did have a Super 8 camera in my house. And I remember, it was like I was born in the very late 1970s. And I remember like my first couple of years of life, were documented, projected onto a Swiss coffee colored wall. Like that was legit. I also know that God, if any of you took a photography class in high school, back when you used to develop film, there were two different liquids that you put the film into.
Developer and fixer.
The developer and the fixer. My friend's dad was the photography teacher at our junior high, and I didn't have him, but everybody used to go, dude, Mr. White drank the fix today. So whatever the fix is, it's totally digestible anyways. So now Mr. White has another reason to come out of retirement, teach photography again, and drink the fix made from quinoa, limes, and sea salt.
So yeah, it could be the Super 8 Friday night Falcon fights at Viader Wines. Yeah. So, all right, Alan, what do you think?
Thank you.
Do you want some Super 8 Goza and a Super 8 camera to do some film studies there?
No, thank you. I'll pass. I'll try some of that Waldo though. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's fantastic, man.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd try this. I mean, I like Goza, so I'd be totally down with trying this. I really wanted the video of John trying to develop the 35 millimeter camera.
I'd have to imagine that if you could do this, you could literally like develop film in any beer ever made. I have to believe that's the case.
There's a certain acidity level that it has to be at was what it was saying. So as long as it's acidic enough, apparently you should be able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
pH of fixer is somewhere like just south of 3. It's like 2.7. It's pretty acidic. Yeah. That's why dark rooms always smelled like vinegar.
So you could dip it in that Alsatian Riesling, everybody.
Exactly. A white Burgundy. Yeah.
All right. So I'm guessing Dimitri probably has. Dimitri, you should record your wedding with Super 8 cameras, and then develop in the Super 8 Goza.
Make sure you swallow the film.
No, it'd be awesome if you got like a separate audio tape and you have to press both buttons at the same time.
Record and play at the same time. All right. Anything else on that, guys? That was a quick hitter, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get this? Is it out yet? It's Dogfish Head Super 8.
Super 8 Goza, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it, but if I see it, I'm definitely buying it.
Yeah, John, poop out that film and make it happen.
All right. So we have a one-time segment just because we have so much going on. This is so I have to use our favorite sound. This is the We Like Drinking Discount Corner. So we have a bunch of stuff going on. I wanted to make sure all of you listeners got into this. So if you listened to our episode last week with Nick Barasone and are wanting to score one of their 750 or 375 millimeter flasks, you can visit highcampflask.com, and when you go to purchase, use promo code We Like Drinking to get 15% off your order. If you don't remember,
Nice.
this was the flasks with the 2 tumblers on them that are magnetically sealed, 100% stainless steel, amazing flasks. Jeff, you got yours today.
I just got one today, and it is fucking. I'm sorry. Can I swear on this show?
You can.
It's sturdy as hell. It's legitimately like bulky, like just in a good way. Like it's just awesome. You could, you can pack your, I got the 750. You can pack a beautiful bottle of Viader wine in there, and it comes with 2 vessels to drink out of, and you can fight crime with it at the exact same time.
Dual purpose. I love
awesome.
it. So, and then you may remember our episode with Christy Norman a few weeks back, and she has finally released her online wine course. So far, it's proven to be a big hit. You can visit ChristyNorman.com. That's ChristieNorman.com, and use promo code We Like Drinking to get 50% off the price of the course. That's $75 savings if you take it the one-time course. That is good through the month of April, and the High Camp Flask is good through Father's Day. So great Father's Day gift there. And then if you're looking to start your wine studies, you can take the Christy Norman class. I did take it. Definitely, something for a beginner looking to just scratch or get their toe into the wine world. But 50% off that. And if that's not enough, Christy has given us a free copy of her online wine course to give away to one of our listeners. So Christy, thank you so much for doing that for us. And this is what's going to have to happen. I like the idea you guys were mentioning, but we don't have the time for it, I don't think, or the schedule to fit it in, but we're going to figure out a way to do that. But just be sure to follow our Instagram feed starting this weekend. Look for something with Christy and get signed up to get a free version of that course. Thoughts, anybody on that?
I think that's awesome. Eccles says 50% off, $75 off. That means you're getting a legit beginner wine course for only $75.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And
actually, I think I'm going to be using that promo code seriously.
And so and here's the thing, after taking it, if you're interested, if you've thought about or are signing up for or gonna do a first level, WSET level 1, or if you're you're taking the introductory sommelier class, those things can be a few $100s plus travel, right? So this is a course that'll take you an afternoon. It's mostly video. It touches on the key regions, the key grapes, some serving things. And you can find out if it's something that, if you take this whole course and you're like, this is still interesting to me, then it's kind of a good way to gauge if this is something you want to go do. So
dip your toe in the water.
That's right.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. All right. So that is that. And if I'm done speaking all that, and it's the moon is out over Allen, it must be
Last call.
Last call.
That's call. Todd's right. It's time to clean house and lock the doors. So you know what we do here, folks? We try to get you to follow us and help us out in any way you can. Jeff Solomon, what's the first way they can help us out?
Well, everybody could help me out by waiting while I finish chewing on my pizza. Make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platform, like Instagram or Facebook. Just look for We Like Drinking. On Twitter, we are We Like Drinking 1. That's the numeral 1. We will sue that little kid that has We Like Drinking. We will make that shit happen. We will be the bad guys of the internet. But also, I think the place where we have a lot of fun interacting, and I think a lot of our friends, our fans, a lot of our relatives, honestly, interact with us, is on Facebook in our private group called The Tavern. So if you're on Facebook and you just look up We Like Drinking The Tavern, that could work. Or if you just visit us at welikedrinking.com/tavern, you will get in with that goodness. Be part of the Friday Night Roll Call. It's so much fun.
So much fun. And Alan, one last time, the best place to find you on social is Instagram, and Twitter is Viader_Napa, and Facebook is Viader.Napa, correct?
Yeah. Viader Vineyards. You just Google it, or
I know
for it, you'll find it.
I know. I don't know why we go through this every week. It's just Google it and you'll find us.
Yeah, you'll find us. Yeah, I'm constantly putting pictures and videos, and I'm the one that does the social media, so you're
awesome.
You'll connect to me.
And Alan's got his own Instagram feed too, so check that out.
I do.
Ruyak, if the people, somebody left us
What?
a 5-star review this week, somebody left us another 5-star review this week. If our listeners are inspired by that person, how can they?
Well, I mean, you just need to listen to the show, go to Apple Podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. Everybody else does.
I love.
If you're listening to the show, make sure that you're listening.
Step one, listener, is to listen to the show. I mean, that's a good thing. They've
Hey,
already
you
done step
driving your car, stop what you're doing and listen, to our
the show.
one.
And if you're not, stop listening.
Yeah. And if you're listening to the show and you're like, wow, this is some amazing stuff. I really need to throw some money these guys' way. You can visit welikedrinking.com/pledge to find out how to become a patron of the show. You can also find the show notes for this episode with all the links to the stories or mentions we had at welikedrinking.com/episodes. Or if you're on your phone, John Ruyak, what should they do?
What? If they're on your phone, what?
I love that you don't listen to us. I love that you don't listen. Every week at this point, you just check out. Jeff Sullivan.
No. I mean,
if you're on your phone, scroll around, diddle, poke, do what you need to do to subscribe and leave a message.
What? Just think of download a podcast catcher, subscribe to the show, listen every damn week. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Visit our tavern website. Drink something on Friday afternoons.
It's spring
and Saturday
John's
nights.
living it up.
Alan, this is the second time John has had a bottle of Jeff Solomon's wine, and both times he's finished the entire bottle halfway through the show. And when he listens to this, he's like, "This happened? I don't remember any of this."
The secret ingredient is methamphetamine.
There's something in there.
Well, it seems like we've reached the time where I get to say, okay,
It's that
panel, let's
time.
take one last trip around the table and get some final thoughts before we shut off the lights. John Hammered Ruyak.
Okay, so this weekend and it's in time for everybody that actually listens to the show on their podcast catcher on Friday. But on Saturday and Sunday is the iNaturalist City Nature Challenge. So all the cities around the world, in the United States in particular, get out, find some bugs under rocks, see some birds and some trees, look at the cattails in the swamps, log into iNaturalist, and just, do your city proud, go out in nature and find the cool stuff that's nature in your city. It's cool. I'm leading a hike at Cedros Creek, which is up in the foothills. So, all kinds of stuff going on. Go find some critters.
Awesome.
Don't get lost.
Jeff Solomon.
You know what's a really fun thing to do in the nature of a city? Look at the color of the pavement and then look in the cracks and find the roly-polies and look at what color the roly-polies are. It's so fun, dude.
They eat
No
the chalk.
joke.
They eat the chalk.
It's the coolest thing. Like, I've got tan roly-polies at my school with tan concrete, and like everywhere else it's gray. Like, I love it. I love it.
Wow.
Alan, any final thoughts? Anything nature-wise that you want to promote on the show?
Support your local search and rescue and go get lost. Go out there this weekend. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, go get lost. And if you're near Howell Mountain, Alan already gave you your phone number, so just call him directly and he'll come save you.
Alan will show up like a St. Bernard with a barrel of some delicious wine ready for you.
That's right. Yeah, that's what we do.
Sounds like perfect.
It is Napa.
And I'll just say, Alan, thank you so much for joining us on the show and taking time from your family and everything else you're doing to join us on this.
It's my pleasure.
This train wreck that we like to call a podcast. Folks, I hope you get a chance to go visit their website, possibly get signed up for their selections, and get to taste some of this amazing wine. So
yeah, it'd be great. Thank you.
that would be awesome. And with that, I'll say thanks again for joining us at the We Like Drinking podcast. Where you'll never
Drink alone.
go.
We did that. The explosion.
May as well drop the explosion.
It's hot.
All right.
All right. Good night, guys.
Yay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Good talk.
Thank
Good
you
meeting
so
you.
much, Alan.
Yeah, it's good to meet you guys. Hope to see you guys up there soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Thanks.
Night.
Doors open.